What is going on, Movie Meals? Hey, that's us, Movie Meals. Thank you, my patrons, Kimberly Karen. Thanks for being here. Go get some merch. The one of you that watches, and it's usually Kyle. But
I'm also
hey,
buying all the merch.
Kyle and I had this plan to film. We were talking about it. Get back to some regular times again, and then I was talking to my now wife and was like, "Hey, we should get up a little early, maybe go to the dog park beforehand." Rained. We were like, all right, let's not do that. Maybe we'll hit the gym in the morning. Woke up at 10 p.m., baby. 10
10
30,
p.m.
10 a.m., sorry. That's how tired I am. Already down to coffee. You see them bags. They getting bigger, baby.
I can relate, man.
I made
can
this,
relate.
this bag, too. Dang, that camera not doing me no favors. Holy moly.
Yeah, why did we upgrade our cameras right when we were getting older? Why did we decide to do that?
Yeah.
That was so dumb.
I promise I'm not this ugly in person, I think. I probably am.
No,
Probably
we're pretty. Come on. Let's give ourselves some credit. We just need moisturizer, that's all.
First time coming, I haven't been down in the makeshift office in a few days. Did a little spider check, make sure spiders weren't getting in here to bite me, to make me a superhero, and
Sure.
only found one, and it was on the other side, which is good. We want him away from the books.
Yeah.
But
he could ruin
we're
them.
here to talk. We're here to talk about things, and not the bag goes under my eyes. Man, this one really looks huge. Jeez Louise.
You must have
swollen.
You gotta like get some of that cream under your eyes. That's what we gotta do.
To be fair, if you see the hair, it's popping up on this side because I slept on this side hard, so maybe that's why it feels a little more poppy.
Everything is squished.
It's true. I sleep hard. I'm a squish sleeper.
Yeah, you are.
All right, Kyle. What's first on the docket? Kyle, I know you've got a couple movies you want to talk about. Go talk about those movies that you've
What
seen.
movies?
What have you seen
what
lately?
movies? Well, I've seen 3 movies lately. Caught Stealing, Death of a Unicorn, and Relay. Which should I start with?
You watched Death of a Unicorn now that it's on HBO?
Yeah, I just watched it on a whim.
Oh, I did that with Friendship the other day.
Oh, we need you to talk about Friendship then.
No, you go first. How did you like Death of a Unicorn? I heard it was brutally mid.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it. I mean, some of the humor is pretty good, especially from like Paul Rudd or Will Poulter. There was like some good moments of humor. For it to be a dark comedy, kind of one of the movies that we've been seeing now in this trend of like eat the rich type of movies. That's what this movie is in line with. It's a creative premise with like including like a unicorn, and it just being a part of like the themes about how things so beautiful can be taken and warped into something monetized. But I don't know, just at the end of the day, it was a movie that just didn't have much else going for it. Like a good cast, but a cast that just even they couldn't get much more out of the material than what was given to them, basically. Wish I could like it more, wish I could give it more of a recommendation, but if you pass on it, I don't really blame you. Like, at the end of the day, it was just, yeah.
Fair enough. What'd you think of Caught Stealing? I also heard it was mid. That's what my brother said, though, but he thinks everything's mid.
Well, I guess
He
in
lives
terms
in the
of
mid.
in terms of Aronofsky's own filmography, I could see that. For myself, I'm not as big of an Aronofsky fan as, like, say your brother is. So that was also part of the reason why I probably viewed this movie differently than maybe he would. But Caught Stealing, I at least had a good time with. I feel like this is Aronofsky's most approachable movie, even though the movie is still not afraid to get into, like, dark territories, or at least, like, really have the main character, like, get thrown in and get the crap beaten out of him along this ride. But yeah, I really liked Austin Butler in the lead role. Like, if not for Elvis, this would have been like a great like introduction to his career. Like, he's just that good and takes a hold of the movie really well.
You've clearly never seen his guest appearances on Hannah Montana, sir.
When he was announced as Elvis, I was like, I have no idea who this guy is. And then the whiplash I got from realizing he's been part of my childhood was something else. But good for him. He's worked hard and he's really like proven himself to be a good actor. But I also liked Aronofsky's direction in this. I just thought that it felt like Aronofsky, even for himself not being afraid to be such a dark, dreary type of director, that he kind of wanted to have like a lighter type of movie, wanted to have like a movie that what I felt like was paying homage to like 90s New York, 90s punk rock type of style that he probably grew alongside. So I think it was like homages to that, homages to a time where like he's was familiar with when he was growing up. Um, so yeah, it wasn't the movie that I was really anticipating out of him as a director, but one that I kind of appreciated. I just thought that it was a fun ride, had some great character actor moments along the way, and the story was just entertaining overall. So I mean, for some people, it may not hit the mark for them. It depends on like what their views are on Aronofsky, I suppose. But for myself, I give a recommendation. I had a good time just going on and on a whim.
Nice. You said there were three, right? What's the third one?
The third one for me was a movie called Relay. It stars Riz Ahmed and Lily James. Another
Came
movie
out this year, right?
Yeah, just a little
Is it
while
streamer?
ago. I don't know if it's on streaming yet. It was in theaters like for a bit though. I just kept forgetting to talk about it, to be honest. I remembered it the other day, so I threw it on the list. But this one I also want to recommend to people. Like it's a underrated movie that was very interesting for its premise. Like it's about a guy who helps a whistleblower played by Lily James, and by doing so, he doesn't like act as her bodyguard necessarily, but he has as like a face behind the screen, just like kind of contacting her through the phone or through discreet text messages, and he's just trying to protect her from guys hired to like kind of take out Lily James essentially. So it's a thriller drama that really has like a slow build when it comes to like character stuff, but then like the final act of the movie has like a nice twist, but also a really good action sequence that really has a great payoff in my opinion. So yeah, anytime I can see a movie from Riz Ahmed, I'll take it. He's really good. Lily James is really good, and the movie's just not what I expected, but I appreciate it. It's a good one.
Nice. Yeah, I caught Friendship on a whim. I've actually been watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I mentioned it last week, slowly getting through it. And I was going to finish the last, I was going to finish the last, I think, hour of Two Towers. And I hopped on HBO, and Friendship was right there. And I was like, oh, I didn't get to see that. I wanted to see it. I heard it was really good. I liked Tim Robbins, so I checked it out. It is not what I thought it was going in. I thought it was going in a different direction based off of what I heard. I liked it. I thought it was solid. But overall, it wasn't as good as I kind of had hoped. It's very Tim Robbins humor in a way. So it's very, I think you should leave. But even maybe a little darker and a little more like, should I laugh at this kind of feeling? It went in a direction that I just really was not expecting.
Okay.
And it's a lot of a darker movie than I expected. I thought it was going to be a lot more lighthearted. And so, but I had a good time with it. I had a good time. It was good. I remember thinking last year, oh, maybe this will be a sleeper hit that would contend with my 2024 rankings, but it definitely would not have contended. But I'm glad I finally got to check it out. So yeah.
How was Paul Rudd in it?
He's good. Oh yeah, Paul Rudd's good and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. It was cool seeing him play. Like I feel like if this movie had come out in the mid 2000s, it would be Paul Rudd as the lead, not Tim Robbins. But
sure.
I liked the way Paul handled his. Or Paul, I liked his character. It just wasn't what I thought. Without giving anything away, it's hard to explain. It's not as much about friendship as I thought it was going in, and maybe I just needed to read the description. But
interesting. It's to me, it seemed like it was trying to talk about like male loneliness.
Exactly what it's talking about, and I didn't.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to do that in a lighthearted way, and it did that in a dark comedy way, which I just wasn't expecting.
Sure.
But yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What's next?
Did you want to talk about Hamilton? I know that you saw that the other day.
I will talk about it, and I actually have a better question. When you put Hamilton review on the notes, you said it to me right before we went and saw it, and I thought of a better question to ask, to propose here, a better conversation. But it was good as always. Hamilton's incredible. Seeing it in the theater was very cool because it gave you a unique perspective that even Disney Plus couldn't give you, where you're able, like, I think this is what they intended. I'm able to see a lot more of the background. I'm able to see a lot more than what you could see on the watching it live on this, like when they're on stage, and missing because you're watching on a smaller screen than what you
Sure.
are used to with this massive screen. We were in a smaller theater for the theater we had, and I think they had them in. They had showings in their larger theaters, not their biggest, but their larger theaters too. But we just didn't go to those ones. But we were almost completely sold out. There were people of all ages there. There was like an 80-year-old woman by herself next to me. There was a lot of friends there, a lot of people in shirts. And the biggest thing is that like a play is 3 hours. So Hamilton's a 3 hour thing. It was a little ridiculous. I assumed they weren't going to put trailers in front of it as kind of more of this kind of became a Fathom event thing. And I thought we were just going to have a couple of the ads and then straight in. No. They played all their AMC plays one of their ads twice every time, and it's wild that they do this. They played their ads at the beginning. I was like, all right, I think they're going to start the movie now. Like, this is going to be perfect. Like, we got here thinking that was going to happen. They didn't, obviously. So we got 30 minutes of that. I didn't know they have a little 10-minute thing beforehand, 5-10-minute thing beforehand where all the actors talk about what Hamilton means. Oh. So there's another 10 minutes. Then we got into the show. There's an intermission, obviously, because that's how they do it. So we were there for 4 hours, which is fine because I had a blast. I really wanted to see it. But I was a little like, oh, man, like we're really dedicated to this one today. But in the thing beforehand, they said, we want this to be a sing-along. They said it to the audience. Sing along, throw your popcorn, have some fun, be respectful, but have fun with this. And
I don't think advertising made that clear.
No. But I think it's because the people who have been going to this have been extremely respectful. There were people in my showing that sang. At first, I thought there was like a weird echo going on because they were doing it very softly, and nobody really started to sing until the second act. And I think it was just the people in my showing got a little more courageous, the girls who were there.
Yeah.
But then when they got a little bolder and they were singing, it was never... I truly did not have a problem with it. They were having a good time. It wasn't like I couldn't... It wasn't like the Taylor Swift problem where it was them acting like they were at this concert that is super loud, and that's what everybody's doing. Like, they were singing to themselves. They got a little louder, but they were never, like, when the actors on stage and then on screen had their big moments, they were always so much louder because of the audio in the room that it drowned out anyone singing. So it was super respectful, and I had no problem with it at all. It was the first thing Autumn said when we got out. She's like, how mad did you get? And I was like, I had no problem, especially because they said beforehand, please sing along. We want you to enjoy this experience. And I really had no problem. If they had really been like screaming and hollering and freaking out the whole time, that would have been a different story. But
yeah, still keep your chill.
Super respectful. Autumn at one point sang. There was one point where everybody sang, and it's because of the one song that has recently gone viral on TikTok again. Where it's the Alexander come back to sleep, and it's like cutting back and forth. Everybody sang that, and the girl next to Autumn said to her friend, like her mom, I think it was actually her mom or something, and she was like, it's funny that everybody is finally singing because of the viral moment. And then as soon as that stopped, it went back to just those few girls singing. And to be fair,
the power of TikTok.
It's true. They invited that creator who started that trend to the premiere and then did that with Lynn. Lynn made a video with her doing that.
Did not know that.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
But here's my question to bring it back to the meals that do movie. The big talk, because we've reviewed Hamilton a bunch of times. We've reviewed it. I've reviewed it once, and then we reviewed it together when it came on Disney Plus. So I don't need to review it. It's incredible. Yeah. It's one of the best Broadway shows ever made. But the talk of the town again is, you're going to do a movie adaptation. And I think that's the more interesting conversation to have today. Should they do a movie adaptation? And if they do, how do you tackle it? Because it is a very interesting conversation. Do you go with what the stage is doing? And you have anybody of any race take on these, founding fathers. And do you do that for the movie? How do you adapt this into a movie? Because now you're filming on live sets and things like that. So, like, that's my question to you. How do you tackle it, Kyle? You're Bob Iger, and you finally are going to convince Lynn to do it. how well you're not convincing Lin, you're convincing Lin to accept that we're going to do this or something, but how do
I'm
you
threatening him.
what do you think, how do you think that goes? Because I think with the success of Wicked that musicals are back, and I think Hamilton makes a huge amount of money.
Mm-hmm. I
So
I don't think musicals are back. I think certain musicals can work.
well, sure, say that for anything.
Well, yeah, but I think it applies in this case. Like, there's been a lot of musicals the past 5, 6, 7 years coming out before Wicked that didn't do
Sure,
anything
like
like
looking at
Wicked's
me
doing.
like the Mean Girls music, but Hamilton is on par with Wicked. It's on par with Les Mis. Like
I
I
would
think a
say
movie
so. Yeah.
adaptation does really, really well. Like I think a movie adaptation
Hmm.
is something that they probably really want to do.
Yeah, I'm kind of deciding between like how do you want it to visually look and feel. I don't know if like Hamilton you wanted to feel as quote unquote well, as serious as like a Les Mis, or would you want it to feel like it has like a pop type of vibe like Wicked does? That would be like my biggest question for it, but I would say for sure like you can have Hamilton um be portrayed as a movie musical. You can have different races portray like founding fathers and those characters because clearly it's been done 10 years ago. There was criticism for it, quote unquote criticism. It was
Yeah, there's
racism.
always been criticism, but you can, yeah, definitely.
And it still will happen today, no matter what. So why not just do it anyway? You know, like I don't think you should be fearful of it because there's always just, unfortunately, there is still going to be like that
Yeah,
racism that comes out with decisions like these.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, more people like it than not because it's good. So
it's
you
very
should
good.
still lean into that. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's just my biggest thing. Like I think maybe not have it be have it have a look of seriousness like Les Mis and lean into it being more of Wicked, where it does have like a pop and it does like have a quote unquote fun type of vibe to it. Because I think this version of Wicked that we've seen, you know, for all the seriousness that it has, like it still does
I
have
was gonna
like
say it
a
is
big
fairly
amount of fun to
serious.
it. Yeah, but it still has, you know, it still has like a big amount of like burst to it. I don't know how I'm like trying to describe it, but just like the color palette of it and the way
Yeah,
that everyone looks so happy and entertained by like the dancing that they're doing.
yeah,
Like
the bad
it's those
CGI.
types of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. Are you done?
Yeah, no, that was it. We were on the
Oh,
same page. Yeah.
yeah. You definitely, I don't think, hire, like, you're not having people play the same role twice, I think, in a movie. Like, I don't
Different
think you're having
cast.
the guy who plays Lafayette play Jefferson anymore. And you're not, yeah, you're not doing that with Hamilton. Like, he's not playing him throughout the whole year. You hire someone to be 19 and then take, I guess it depends because I don't know how old Hamilton is by the time we actually get to his death, but I assume he is quite a
They
bit
all
older.
they all live to be 40, so, you know.
Not even 30, I think. Let's
Yeah.
see. How old was Hamilton when he died? That's exactly what we want.
The burning question.
Oh yeah, so yeah, he was 47 or 49. They're
Wow.
not entirely sure. So yeah, you I don't think you age that up. I think you get a different actor. But I
For
mean,
you, I
maybe
would.
Hamilton you could keep, but yeah, I don't think we're expanding the roles to where half the cast is playing two people. Um,
Oh, okay. Hmm.
like I don't think Lafayette should also then be Jefferson at the same time at that point because
Oh, I see what you're
that's what
saying.
I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
you can do it with Hamilton, but because he's the only one that really is young, very young at the beginning, and
yeah.
then
Mm-hmm.
gets quite a bit older, I guess, besides the Schuyler sisters and stuff. But
Right.
um, yeah, and we were talking about this on our drive home. Like Lynn is not a screenwriter; he's a playwright. So he, they're very different mediums. And I feel like every time he's been asked about it, he always says like, "Well, if we get a great script or something," and it's like, yeah, you don't hire him to do the script. Like you probably hire him to just be an executive producer and have a lot of say. But
Yeah.
at some point, I think Disney's going to be like, we've got to do this. Like we've got to make this into a movie at some point. And I think it could be really cool. And I think if you apply the fun hip hop style that John brings to that he brought as a director, if they bring him in after Wicked, but well, after Wicked, he's got that Hot Wheels movie to work on. But if he,
I did not know that.
oh yeah, baby, oh yeah. But
Good for him.
if you add a little bit of that kind of pop that In the Heights had, that creativity where there's some art being drawn while you're singing and stuff, I think that is the way to kind of hit Hamilton a little bit. And I think you could have a lot of fun with like montages of his life when he's, in the very first song singing about where he came from and stuff. Like, I think that could be really interesting. But at some point they're going to do a movie adaptation. And to be honest, I actually am in the camp that I think I want them to. I want to see what Lin can bring as, like, what is he going to do and have a director do to make it into a live action. And I think you could make it into a true, legit epic. But it's also at the same time, like, revolutionary movies tend to not be very good. Like, there's only a handful that are pretty okay, like good. And there's some like there's a John Adams show that's very good on HBO and stuff. But like when you get to those series, they are so serious. Like you are adding a level of really fun pop to it if you are doing Hamilton regardless. So it would be very interesting. But yeah, anyway, I thought that was a more interesting conversation than just a regular review.
No, I think you're right that was fun, and it's bound to happen. I'm just shocked that it hasn't been announced yet. Like, I don't know what is the holdup. Like, does Lin think it's too soon? Like, I don't know how it works for like who has the say or who is in charge of it or whatever. I'm just shocked that
Lin
they haven't.
Still owns the rights. I don't think Disney has it outright. And well, they know that this movie that they shot of the performance on stage is very popular. I read that on Friday it made like $3.9 million just on Friday. So it's going to make quite a bit of money for them in a very limited run. Like, it only opened it's not a limited release by the sense of the mean. It is a wide release, but it's like, I don't think it's as a traditional wide release and has overall quite a bit less theaters than like Marvel's gonna put out or something like that.
It definitely was.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. What do you think?
It's gonna happen sooner or later. I'm just shocked that it hasn't happened yet. But yeah, I don't really have any thoughts of like, should it happen or should it not happen. I don't really have a argument to be made of either or. I just know that's gonna happen anyway. So we'll see. But anyway, yeah, that's just all the thoughts I have on it.
What's next on the docket?
How about we talk about that Superman sequel being confirmed? Man of Tomorrow. I almost said Man of Steel.
Man of Tomorrow. And what's his name? Simu, the guy who plays Shang-Chi, was like, what the heck? He's out there tweeting. He's like, how come they get sequels so fast? And everybody was like, because he's Superman, bucko.
It's a little weird, man.
No, it is.
I don't blame him.
It is awesome.
It's a good movie.
It is. I'm going to be honest. Kyle sent me that news, and he was like, hey, did you see the Superman news? And it was my back-to-school night, so I'd been home late and not been on social media all day, and I was like, no. And he was like, oh, yeah, it's a little bit of a team-up. And boy, does that put me off. I'm not into the idea. I don't like it. I don't want to team up. 1A! Sorry. Yeah,
why not?
I don't know. It just feels like it's going to turn into a buddy cop movie. I don't know. I just am not. James Gunn has hit more than he's missed for me, but I don't know if I need a buddy cop, Superman, Lex Luthor driving around in some 80s song, taking out bad guys. So, I honestly wish they'd empire it. I wish he'd go darker. I wish he would make the second one more like how Guardians 3 feels, where it's darker than the other two. But anyway.
What if it does?
I hope so, but
sure.
We all know Lex is going to the whole time at the end of the movie probably betray him. Like, it's not like this is going to be a masterclass in terms of what the story beats are going to be. If it's a team up movie, odds are he's going to betray him at some point. So
Sure.
anyway, what do you think?
Honestly, I did get, for some reason, when I saw the announcement of Man of Tomorrow and saw the what was kind of being implied by the picture that was being shared of the artwork of Superman and Lex side by side together as they were, that like it feels like it could be in like a team up movie sort of situation. I did get flashbacks to like Fantastic Four 2 or like Aquaman 2 where they team up with the villain and you know those movies don't turn out very well, and I was like,
Batman
oh,
versus Superman, technically kind of a team
technically.
up.
So I did go there as like worst case scenarios type of idea. I guess all I could say is that I trust Gunn at this point because I liked what he did with the first Superman movie. I think it's not totally surprising that he's wanting to do this because throughout most of his filmography, he always finds a way to have antagonist characters like show like their humanity or show like glimmers
Why
of
they're doing what they're
hope in
doing.
them, or yeah, they show
Yeah.
rationale to what they're doing. um so for Lex, like making Lex a possibly more well-rounded character, I can understand why he wants to go in that direction and how it could work. um I just would hope that it's a begrudging team up at the end of the day and that nothing changes between the status quo of those two characters. Like, I don't want to see Lex like somehow become a good guy from all this, or like the two of them necessarily find middle ground.
Sorry.
No, because I think like it's okay to leave villains as villains sometimes, and especially for Lex Luthor, you need him to be, you know, stuck in his ways. You need him to still be arrogant about himself and what his views are. So I think as long as you keep that intact and maybe have like the team up happen, I don't know, in the climax of the movie, just have Lex be like a secondary character, but somehow like,
Oh, it's so not going to happen at the end of the movie, Kyle. This is
no, you
James
think it's all the
Gunn.
way through?
It's going to happen at the beginning, and they're going to go on like some space adventure together. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be like some cosmic force. It's going to be some weird looking massive alien. Garble Goop is coming to take out Earth. And Lex is like, I like
Brainiac.
Earth. Superman's like, I like Earth. So let's all team up. You know what I really want? I want more Hawk Girl, okay? I'm in love. I want more her.
She's great. She's great.
She's great. Isabella's awesome. She's an awesome actress. But
Yeah,
anyway,
no, she's a great actress.
yeah, I feel like when we first talked about Superman and we reviewed it here, I feel like you were like, I feel like you've grown in your overall enjoyment. Because I feel like when we first talked about it, you were like, the Gun effect has finally hit me. I'm not a fan of a lot of these things, but overall I did like the movie, blah, blah, blah. And I think over time you've sound much more positive about Superman than I feel like you were the first time. Not that you were negative, but just overall in your speaking. And I've noticed in the this has nothing to do with you, it's just another thought. I have noticed that too, the only people who are left talking about Superman that aren't doing like a news report like we are just complaining about how it's not Zack Snyder's. And it's like, it makes it feel like people are turning against Superman, but in reality, it's the same thing that happened in The Last Jedi. All the people that liked it have just stopped talking about it, and they've started moving on to other things they like, and everybody who didn't like it still wants to yell at it. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I ranted there. Go ahead.
No, you're all good.
Thank you.
I still stand by how I feel about Superman. Like, it's definitely a movie with plenty of flaws. But what really just put me over the edge was just my own personal attachment to this character, and for me feeling like we're in a healthy and good direction with how to portray this character well. I do think that with Man of Tomorrow, I hope to see James Gunn step out of his wheelhouse a bit more in this second movie, but at the same time, I know I know, but I would hope that he steps away from some of those elements that I was being critical of. But at the same time, I also am not afraid with him to go a little bit more ballsy with like the direction of the movie itself. Like, there's plenty of things that I liked about his direction, but I also think it's okay now to switch up to like what he's been used to of what we've seen of his previous work. I'm just okay with it being different. So I
If
don't know.
you,
I don't know what I'm trying to
I
say here
want
outside of
you,
like I'm still critical, but I'm optimistic.
I want you to pick one Gunnism, the number one. You can't pick more
Mm-hmm.
than one. One that you for sure are like, I want him to step away from this for the next movie. He won't. And he
He
probably would
won't.
be the first to tell you, like, this is my style. This is how I make
Mm-hmm.
movies. I like doing it this way. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
always do it this way. And until people stop going to the box office, there's no reason to stop doing it. But I want your personal, what is the one thing you would want to get rid of?
I think for me, like the biggest part of the movie that doesn't work is the comedy. I think the style of comedy and some of the moments where he chooses to have comedy didn't hit well in Superman. I would be okay with him still having comedy in his movie, but placing it in better spots. And I think he
I
is capable of that.
I agree with you, and I will tighten that broad comedy specific up. I
Mm-hmm.
think
Sure.
Guardians 1 and 3 overall work because the joke at the serious moment doesn't feel like it's taking away from the serious moment. I think in Guardians 2 and in Superman at times, his serious moments are undercut by a poor joke that just doesn't work. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what I specifically want to make sure he steps away from.
Yeah.
Like, make sure that when you're getting real, that there isn't some dumb joke. Like, I know you talked a lot about how it was maybe crypto coming in at the end and
Mm-hmm.
like doing that moment. And I
Mm-hmm.
agree to an extent. Like, I want overall that moment to go away when Superman's talking about being human for it to fully really last. Like that's the best part about his comedy is that it works so well overall that when the big serious moment hits, it really hits. So I
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you there, but
Yeah.
yeah, comedy is
Um,
definitely it.
I think one other thing for me would be like how the flying is portrayed in the movie, especially like the close-up shots. Like he really liked doing the close-up shots
Yeah,
with like
he's done
Guardians
it in all
3.
of them. Yeah,
Yeah, I would be okay with that being switched up more. I feel like there's enough criticism beyond like the movie internet bubble that I've been hearing in like the general public, where it's like, okay, if it's one thing if like a small group of people are complaining about it, but if it's
yeah,
like a larger group, maybe we should be listening to it, you know?
yeah,
So I'd be okay with that being switched up too. I
yeah.
guess for me with your question, like I am critical of the movie still, but again, just like the goal of how to portray Superman works really well for me, and I'm just much more optimistic about um, how to continue the story of Superman than I was in years past. So
Fair,
yeah, that's
very
why
fair.
I'm just excited.
Do you think like he had was so coy about putting out a specific sequel right away, and it's very clear that he's going to be in The Woman of Tomorrow, right? That's the title of the Supergirl movie.
Woman of Tomorrow title
Yeah, yeah.
got dropped,
He's
so it's
oh
Supergirl. Yeah,
oh yeah. He's going to be in that. Like it's
I
very
assume
clear that
so.
he's going to be in these other movies. But
Yeah,
I do think Zaslav came to him and was like, Superman 2 is your main focus. You need to do that. I don't want all these other weird movies coming out super quickly. I want it to be Superman 2.
I mean, I think that's a good thing. I mean,
I do
I
too.
like that. I think that James is doing the right thing of making sure that the script has to be nailed down and has a lot of approval before just jumping right into a project just because you announced a project. Like, I am glad he's being mindful of that. Like, we're seeing that with The Authority, right? The Authority was announced 2, 3 years ago. Nothing's become of that, probably because the script hasn't been
Yeah.
nailed down with. So, why try to push for something that's not working?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it has led me scratching my head of being like, why are we announcing a Surgeon Rock movie? Why is Clayface actually going into production? Like, why are we looking at
Because
these
it's a good
small,
script, Kyle.
obscure stuff? Yes, but at the same time, like, I think to establish like what you want to do for this whole brand, if that's the goal, use the bigger characters first. Like,
We
so
can't
it's like
use
a double edged sword.
Batman.
It's
We can't use
it's a
Batman.
it's a double edged sword for me. With like appreciating that we're not just jumping into a project without anything like being finalized or being perceived as good, but at the same time it's like maybe not jump into like obscure stuff yet.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Anything else on the old docket today?
You brought up something to me that I found
Me?
interesting. Amazon was
Me?
getting sued
Class
for.
action lawsuit. Yep.
Yeah, do you want to explain that more?
I hope I have all my detail rights. It sounds like a large group of just regular people have come together to form a class action lawsuit against Amazon for taking away movies off of their platform that they bought. So there's the rent and the buy option, but we've seen this before.
You're here. You're good.
Why'd
I
that-
heard that.
You did.
I don't know.
Who's
I'm
on
good.
Discord's the real question.
Oh, that was the Discord sound.
Yeah, what the heck?
What are you?
What is that, Caleb? How is this even a thing?
Why is your Discord on, Alex?
I don't know. Hi, Caleb.
Hello.
Caleb, you're on
wild.
Movie
Over here was
Meals.
like, what are you doing?
We're on Movie Meals, bro. You're live and on air, baby. Get him.
Nice. sorry if I ruined anything.
Oh, you just made it so much better.
True. Ask him a question.
Well,
Ask him
my
a movie
bad.
question,
I
Alex.
just sat down here and was like, what's he doing?
Caleb, what's the last movie you watched?
Furiosa.
Heck yeah, did you like
Yeah,
it?
that's a good one, buddy.
I really liked it. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Got Ingrid to watch Mad Max again.
Heck yeah.
So
that sounds like a
good.
great night. Wish I was invited.
True. Why weren't we invited?
This is
All right, well, now
wild.
that I've made this uncomfortable, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize.
No, you're all good, man.
It's like, oh, there's Alex. What's he doing in movie club?
I didn't.
I bet.
Yeah, no, you're good. Welcome to Movie Meals, baby.
Why are you on the movie
All right,
club?
well, carry on.
Thank you.
Bye, buddy.
I think I know why that happened. I jumped on to make sure my camera was working. And now I think I've learned the problem for why my camera never works. I think I've been hitting the wrong button on Discord where I'm just half-ass leaving the call half the time. That was
It's all your
incredible.
fault.
That was incredible. Hey,
Yeah.
shout out to our buddy Caleb. Anyway, what were we
Love you,
talking
man.
about? Oh, Amazon. Yeah. So when Amazon,
Something serious.
so like when you buy something digitally through their thing, you're buying a right to use the license. But if the company like Amazon then sells the license or their license to that product expires, you don't have it anymore, even though you bought it. So
This has been a long issue.
I love it. And I love that they're taking on Amazon. This is why Kyle and I are big on physical media. I'm not collecting every DVD that comes out, but when a movie I truly love comes out while there is still physical media to buy, I want to go after the Criterion Collection. I want to go after the 4K, the Blu-ray. I want something that will, for the most part, look still pretty good for 10, 15 years when I play it. I have my own ways of playing it. I still keep a DVD player around. It's just important. Like, physical media is important because one day when the EMP strikes and you don't have your tech anymore and you want to be able to show and watch something, that's going to be the way to do it, is your physical media, just as long as you got a little bit of electricity. But anyway, I think it's really interesting, and I say good on the people because this is just a trick. And now they're even making it worse, where now you can rent a worse quality version of it for $3 and you have to rent a better version of it for $5. And it's like, it's all just clear. And even YouTube's doing that. Where
they started
you
doing
only
that.
get 4K if you subscribe to their YouTube premium or whatever it is. And it's wild. Amazon and Disney are doing this too, where it's like suddenly your regular non-ad package now has ads and you can only get it in an okay quality. If you want the better quality, they figured out that this is going to trick people because people aren't paying attention to this as much. Does the common moviegoer understand the difference between a 4K and 180p? They don't. So, yeah, what do you think?
I am just happy to hear that after so many years, Amazon finally gets dinged for doing this because I think this is ridiculous. Like, I remember this being talked about by, John Campia's channel in, 2017. This has been going on for a long time. It's something like that.
Yeah.
But it surprises me that this story isn't bigger. I mean, bigger in terms of like our space, at least. I feel like I'm glad that you caught this because I feel like I catch up on the news pretty well when it comes to movie stuff, and this skated right by me. So I'm very
Read the
frustrated that
news.
this isn't. Maybe I didn't dig deep enough, but I think it is odd that this story isn't a bigger story because hopefully if this builds, like this could lead to like good change of not being screwed over in this way for the consumer. And I think consumers now are understanding like the skeeviness of like streaming and these big
Oh
businesses and like
yeah.
what they're doing to get their bottom line. But at the same time, it feels like the consumer also doesn't know what to do. Like it doesn't feel like the consumer knows like how to fight against that. Like it feels like they are stuck on status quo. And I'm part of this too. Like I'm not trying to wag the finger. I also feel like there's no way for me to like fight against this and like make change happen so that way we don't feel screwed over just for wanting to watch a movie, let alone
Yeah.
own a movie. So I
And
understand the feeling.
I don't know. I think I would imagine I didn't read the full thing. I only really kind of skimmed through because I saw it briefly. But I would assume that they're, if the people win, what they're true. I mean, I'm sure they're going to get a big settlement. But I think the big argument would be, all right, if you're going to take off, if I'm going to buy a movie that I really love and I watch maybe here and there throughout a year, I watch it more than once every couple of years. I watch it, at least once a year, if not twice a year, or something like that. That I want to be able to access it, and if you take it away, I want my money back because I didn't rent it, right? I bought it. I bought it with the idea that I watched this movie more than once. I want to be able to go back and watch it, and now you've taken that away from me, which means it wasn't a bought, it was a rental this whole time. So I think what is the change to that? It's got to be, all right, if you're going to buy a movie for a whole year, until the license run out, then I should get my money back for that I used, I guess, at the end of the day, because it's like Amazon came into my house and just took my James Bond DVDs back or something and is like, the license ran out. It's like, no, that's mine. I
bought it at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah,
How
I bought that, pal. Like, bring that back to me, bucko. Like, what are you doing? So I think, hey, screw big tech, okay? I hope they win by a landslide. All right, I want all that money coming back to the people. We want physical media. Hey, there's a reason I got these books. I love Naruto. One day, I'm not going to be able to find the scans online or pay a subscription, read it online, but I can always read it now because I've got that story with me forever. That thing's following me till my grave.
Yeah, in the tens. Not too long ago now, but it was a good mixture of like having options digitally and physically. Like, yeah, I understand like if you go the digital route because it clears, shelf space or you only need it for a short amount of time or whatnot, and that's absolutely reasonable. But at the same time, it was at least nice to have not just the options digitally, but the options physically if you want to keep it for yourself or if you want to have your own material, movie, video game, what have you. Like it was just nice to have the options. But now that we have gone the way of physical because we've all preached about digital so much, now we're seeing the consequences that we really aren't going to technically own this stuff
and
anymore.
You brought up a good point because this really started in video games with some smaller video games that people paid for a digital code for. And video games, even more so than DVDs, are not putting their products out on a physical disc anymore or anything. Like Nintendo has been big. I went and bought for Autumn Just Dance because it was on her list. She wanted to play the newer Just Dance game on her Switch. And I went and bought the physical thing because I've always heard this, Nintendo especially, like never drops their prices. So you should always buy their physical cartridge because you can resell it or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I went to do that. They didn't even have a physical cartridge. It was only a code inside the case. So I really realistically just bought a case, and I didn't realize it because I didn't read the full package when I got it because I was like, there's Just Dance, grab it. Oh, I noticed it was Ariana Grande's version or whatever. Like, great. And then you get on that dang game, and there's only 6 songs. You have to pay to get the rest of the songs. What has happened to this country, man? What has happened? Back in my day, you got entertainment with a stick in your backyard, pal.
Yeah. And it was free. Not paying for one of those Amazon sticks.
Hey, it's free as long as you didn't take that stick off your neighbor's tree. Then you're in some trouble, pal.
Amen, brother.
But they had the best sticks. They're strong. They water their plants. They know what they're doing over next door
I
at
know
the old
I know the tree you're
Brester
talking about.
house.
I get it. Anyway, good for this win. I hope that it brings some sort of change or something happens because of it, but I worry that this story is so small that Amazon can get away with it anyway, and then they'll keep doing this.
Yeah. They're
and all these other
just
big
gonna
companies
change how it's gonna be. It's gonna be like, all right, now you can rent it for a year. Is probably what they'll do. For $15, you can rent this movie for 365 days.
Yeah.
If you're gonna come back and rewatch it and stuff. And at the end of the day, go to your local Walmart, go to your local Target, even though those companies suck too. And buy the DVD. And then guess what? No one's taking that away. Nobody, except a house fire.
Least, except the house fire.
Except you, because you were cooking bacon shirtless again and you caught on fire.
It happens to everyone. It's okay.
All right. Was there anything else, or should we end a little early and go watch First Sunday of Football?
It's football time, baby. Let's
All right.
go.
Hey, guys, what do you think? Comment below. Let us know. I'm going to like, subscribe, and share. Comment as always. And thank you for watching, Mom.
See you guys.